Hey guys, welcome back and hope you are doing absolutely fine. In the previous video I told you how you can install this Python software, and now when you just open the software, this is how the user interface looks like, and this is called as Python shell. And I hope you have installed 3.8.3 version, but I'm using 3.7.3, but doesn't matter what version you're using as of now. So in this video I'm going to talk about some statements, how you can print statements in this shell. But before that, let me just tell you, this is a temporary shell. So what I mean by temporary shell, meaning the values or the data which I've entered here, the commands which I've entered in this shell is temporary. As soon as I close this window, all the data which I've entered will be erased from main memory. I mean it's RAM. From RAM, all the data will be erased off. So in the upcoming videos, I'll tell you how you can create a file and you can store it on your secondary memory, which is hard disk, which is your hard disk on your machine. Now we'll see how we can print a statement. So in C and C++ or Java, if you're familiar with C and C++, I only know C and C++. So if you know about C and C++, first of all, we need to declare header files like something like hash include, something like that. So after that, we need to create a main function which is automatically called by the compiler. So if you're familiar with any programming language, the first program is printing hello world. I don't know the reason why, but we'll follow the same procedure. We'll try to print hello world as our first program. So how we can do that is just by printing hello world. It's pretty simple. You don't need to write some libraries, hash include, something like that. Python is very easy, and you'll see how much easy it is by just writing some one line of statement of printing hello world. So there we go. This is how you can print a statement in hello world. So print and double quotes, we write hello, my bad, typos, hello world. So this is how we can write a single line statement which is actually printing hello world. So anything between these two double quotes are considered as a string. So you can write actually single quote as well. I'll show you one more thing. So if you write with a single quote, so okay, so if you're starting with a single quote, you should end up with a single quote only, otherwise it will throw you an error. So you can do this as well. So this is how we can print any statement in Python. So this is how we can create a simple hello world program. So anything written in this double quotes or single quotes are considered as a string. So this is how we can do. So before we further proceed on to variables and looping concepts and all that, arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction, all that, I would like to tell you what are comments and why it is useful. If I ask you the question what are comments, you might be in a position to answer the question, but actually the purpose of comments is basically describing the functionality of your program. So for example, if someone is reading your program, so he or she should understand your code. So how you can tell that the functionality of your program is just by putting comments. For example, if I created a function and that function has some specific purpose in your program, so just by writing comments about that function, describing the comments, so the other person who is reading your code can understand the functionality of your code. Other than that, comments are actually ignored by interpreter. So how you can write comments in Python is basically putting this hash symbol. So this is a print statement. So this is how we can create a comment. Anything after this hash symbol is considered as a comment, and it is actually ignored by our Python shell. So this is how we can create a comment. So I hope you got a little bit of importance about comments, writing comments in program. So now it's time to talk about variables. So in C and C++, we used to create a variable something like that, int x equal something like that. First of all, we allocate some memory to the particular variable, and after that we enter the data. So first of all, we need to declare what type of data we are entering. For example, if it is a string, if it is a char, first of all, we need to allocate some memory to the particular variable. So before that, let me just tell you what is a variable. A variable is something which contains some data which can be altered or modified or overridden later on in the whole program. For example, let's just say here I have given x equal 9. So this is how you can declare a variable. So let's just say x equal 9, and later on I modified the value x equal to 10. So previously it was 9 was there in this x value. So later on in the program, I altered the value of x to the 10. Now x containing 10. So how you can check is x equal, just put x and press enter. You'll get 10 as an output. So this is how we can create a variable in Python. So you can name you can name the variable anything, but don't forget that you need to create a variable which is alphanumeric. What I mean to say is you can't create a variable name like this. Okay, you can't create a variable name like this. You'll get an error. You can't start with one. Okay, you can't start with one, but you can start with a letter. Later on you can put some numeric value. So this is completely valid. So w1 equal to 0. So this is how you can create a variable. So you can't create a variable just by starting with an integer name. So variable naming is also important in Python or any programming language. You can't directly start with an integer. The variable name should contain alphabetics, or you can start with a alphabet and you can end with a number. You can't directly start with an integer value. So you'll get an error if you start with an integer. So similarly, you can see on the screen that I got an error called syntax error if I start with 1ww as a variable name. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, hit that like button and also subscribe to this channel, and possibly share this video with all of your friends who are really fascinated to learn Python as their first preferred language. If they are completely beginner, that doesn't matter. It's because I'm just teaching from the scratch. So if you like this video, hit that like button, and let's catch up in the next video. Thanks for watching.